Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Today we're going to be making some melt and pour soap again. If you like videos about making melt and pour soap or want design ideas, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and give my videos a thumbs up. It does help out. We're of course going to start off the tutorial today by chopping down our soap bases. I am using just a clear glycerin soap base and a white shea butter base. So you can use any, variations of soap, but this is just what I'm using for this tutorial today. So for this first part, I have about 4 ounces in 2 of the containers and then about 2 ounces in the other container. And I am going to be using my 6-cavity mold to do the first part of the design or get some prep work done. I wanted to use some activated charcoal because I wanted a nice black color for this part of this color scheme. You don't have to use activated charcoal, you can use whatever you want. It mixes in the soap a little bit better if you do use rubbing alcohol. So it just disperses really nice throughout the soap. And once you have each color sort of blended in well, then you can start pouring it into the soap mold cavities. And like I said, these ones each hold about 4 ounces. I just wanted a little bit less of the black because I didn't want the black to be overpowering the design elements of the soap. So then I went ahead and started mixing the color for red. I didn't really like just the Queen of Hearts red color on its own. It was a little bit too pink for my liking, and since this fragrance oil that I'm using is called Dragon's Blood, I wanted it to actually be a little bit more red rather than pink. So I kind of made my own custom color by adding a little bit of ruby red to the mixture. So it's just a little bit darker. Like I said, the one color on its own was a little bit pink, and I just wanted it to be more of a unisex sort of bar and not look so, girly this time, because I think Dragon's Blood is a more unisex fragrance oil. I'm also using my very, very favorite mica ever, or I guess it's more of a glitter, the gold. I like to incorporate this in almost every soap that I can, just because I just love how the color turns out. So what I did though was melt those down, put them in the cavity mold, and then let those sit for a couple hours until they were pretty hard. Actually it's probably about 2 hours. So they weren't like super rock hard solid or anything like that, but they were just hard enough to pop out of the mold and then continue on with the design. Now, some of the tools that you're going to need for this soap to do the soap curls is some sort of like cutter. I am using a cheese grater. This one was really nice. It has different settings I found at Walmart, so you can like adjust the level to change the blade so it gives it a wider cut or a smaller cut. So if you can find something like this, it's a little bit more expensive, but honestly, out of the tools that I use, this was the better tool. But if you don't have that and you're on a budget, or you might already have this in your house, you can use just a regular cheese cutter. I tried with this, but I felt like it was going to break my hand or the cheese cutter, so I didn't really stick with that. So I just went ahead and, like I said, after these were sitting for a couple hours, I popped them out of the soap mold, and then I started using them on the cheese grater and just kind of grated down some soap curls. Another thing that I do want to add is you can get different widths of the soap if you just kind of turn the soap around as you're cutting. So this gives you a nice variety when you're actually curling the soap. And that was also something I noticed too with the thicker bars, my curls were a little bit longer and thicker, and then with the black soap that I used, the curls were a little bit shorter. Nonetheless, it came out really cool. I liked all the different sizes. I think next time I might try doing like maybe layering some of these bars and then have like a really cool curl. It's really the first time I've done soap curls for melt and pour soap, so it was interesting for me, and I think I'm going to be doing a lot more with this sort of technique or techniques like this. So just once everything was cut down, I just started to take the soap and I just sort of rolled it up into little balls, or not like balls, but like a little curl, and then I set it aside. This step took a few minutes to just kind of get everything rolled into a curl. Some of them I made really tight, and then a few others I kind of did a little bit looser. And then once they were all done, I kind of like took the curl and like pulled it or spread it apart a little bit because I thought that would give it a better design look too. So you'll see that in a minute. Once I had all the soap curls done, I did have some leftover soap. So I went ahead and took that and I just poured it into my soap mold because I wanted this to be on the very base part of the soap. Again, just to give it another element of design when the actual soap bar was finished. So I poured in the remainder that I had of the red, and then I propped it up on the side of the cutting board so it was slightly angled. And with each layer, I kind of just melted down the extra soap base, and I took this spoon that I had and I just made some dents into the top of it to give it kind of a wavy look. I did kind of want it to be a little bit swirled, but not like overly swirled. So that was just something, like I said, I just thought it was kind of a neat idea and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So that was part of my soap design. So while I was waiting for those layers to set up, I went ahead and started cutting down some of my white soap base. I was just getting that ready so that when this has set up a little bit and it starts to harden, I would be ready to start pouring the next layer. I just went ahead and cut it probably about, if I remember correctly, 3 ounces or so, 3 to 4 ounces, and I just wanted to pour enough so that there would be a clear line and the soap curls would not be touching this bottom part of the design, if that makes sense for everybody. Now once that black layer was kind of hardened and set up and my melt and pour that I did with the white shea butter base started to cool down a little bit, I went ahead and I poured it. I wanted to make sure, you can see me holding the side of the container, that it was sort of cool to the touch but not having a skin yet on the soap. I didn't want to break through that bottom layer of the colored glycerin soap, but I did go ahead and score it just like you would anything else because it had been sitting a while, and then I spritzed it again with rubbing alcohol. I also used the spatula on this because I don't want it to break through that layer. I don't want the design to have like white seeping into it. I want it to be a distinct line. Once that was poured, I went ahead and let that sit up for a bit because I didn't want it to come through. And as you can see, this is a side shot. You can see where the white layer kind of starts there, so that way the soap curls are not sitting right directly on top of the color. So I started to get a really light skin. Really, I think I should have waited just a little bit longer to start adding these, but see, you can see I'm kind of pulling the soaps apart because I wanted the curls to kind of be a little bit more like coming out, not so much just straight up and down. I thought it would help with the design. So once that layer of skin started forming on the soap, I went ahead and melted down a few more ounces of soap. I don't remember how many was in that, probably about another 3 ounces or so. I didn't want to go melt down too much because I knew I was going to put in a little bit at a time and then put in more of the soap curls. So I just lightly placed them there, gentle, and you can see like the soap hadn't been sitting up quite long enough, so it started to sink down. So I had to wait a few more minutes and then come back to it and then start pushing them down in there. And then I tried to get as much as I could on this layer. I didn't fill it completely. I just kind of did it sporadically because I figured the lower it is to the base of that design, the less soap curls there needed to be, just to keep it distinct. And then once this was set up for a while, I went ahead and poured another layer over this, and then I let that sit and harden up before adding more soap curls. And here's the final design the next day. I love the way the top came out, and like I said, there is 2 separate layers that I poured in some white soap, so I completely covered that first layer of soap curls, and then I let that harden. Then when it was pretty much hard, I went ahead and poured some more melt and pour and added more. So you can kind of see the one sideways there. That is one that fell apart, and then these are the other ones. I love how that came out in the top left corner, where you can see like it's like sort of clear on certain areas and sort of not. So like the soap curl has different thickness throughout. I thought that what's make this design really unique and neat. So again, this is one of my favorite, I think, melt and pour soaps that I've done so far. I'm going to try it again. I have a couple ideas of how I want to like elevate this design. It'll probably be a while though because I'm waiting for some soap supplies to come in. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see me do other ones like this or just other ideas that I might have. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.